guys, welcome to PQ, where we watch and talk about music as classical musicians. Today's song is a request by Roger, one of our supporters on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you for your support and your request. He sent us this song by Art Garfunkel, so I'm assuming that's when he was on his own. And the song is called I Only Have Eyes for You, and this is the audio versions of that. We are very excited. I don't think we've ever listened to anything by him by himself. We only listen to Simon and Garfunkel, and we have a playlist on them on this channel. We can link it here if you guys want to go check it out. But anyway, let's go get it started.
My love must be a kind of blind love. I can't see anyone but you. Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright. I only have eyes for you, dear.
Wow, I never heard his voice alone outside of Simon and Garfunkel, and I never expected to be like this much airy. I mean, his voice when they sing together, it's always so dreamy and otherworldly, but alone it has so much air into it, and it's really like another kind of dream. Like if together, it's like I don't want to like compare too much. I want to just talk about this one in specific, but I just want to say that when they sing together, it's also like dreamy, but dreamy like it's like heavenly. But this one is exactly like you're sleeping and and you hear a voice that is not completely vivid, and somebody is just whispering in your ear, or you're in your dreams, so you cannot hear it directly, but there is a voice just in your dreams that you can hear.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of dreamy, the moment that I heard the first few chords, exactly the harmonies, I mean, I don't know what chords they were playing, but immediately it was like dreamy came to my mind. And when the orchestration started, and it like, I guess like it was like electric piano a little bit, just all the arrangement together, the soundscape that they were creating with the harmony on top, really like exactly like the image that came to my mind was that when I'm sleeping and you're just remembering something, or like you're dreaming, but not everything is clear. And his voice, especially on top, his voice is very clear, but the way that he was kind of like floating on top of the arrangement was also adding that dreamy effect. So I'm curious to see what happens next. Here we go. Wow, that was very beautiful. I loved specifically the exactly after the pause. I mean, there was not really a climax, but the amount of instruments that were added to the second half, specifically like strings and all the other, like we heard more of that electric piano and everything, and a little bit of the I guess choir or like the backing vocal that we heard in the back. I really love that because it really felt like we are building up towards something, but not through necessarily dynamic or like explosion. It feels like we are kind of getting closer to that dream, maybe, or to that, like, I don't know, destination. It feels like we started kind of far away and we were riding or like walking or whatever, and that we are just getting closer and closer, and then we get there and then we just walk away again. So it kind of had this kind of a build up instead of just like little like dynamic, very soft dynamic, and then a big explosion, and then back to that. So it was more of a character difference.
Yeah, exactly. I really agree with what you say. And about the strings that you said, exactly after the pause, I was thinking how it just caught my attention that there is a very beautiful string section is going on in the background, and the thing is that they weren't playing like the melody that he was singing, or like the other parts. They were really playing completely another melody, and so beautiful, and it was like whole another world, and it added so much to the music. And I was thinking, wasn't it also from the beginning that they were there? And it just caught my attention because in the beginning I was really focused on his voice, but yeah, it became more at least obvious or in your face, exactly as you said, because they were making kind of the climax, and the rest of the music was kind of like not the same, but it was playing in the same level at least. And then this climax that was, as you said, not more like a volume thing, but more like an emotional thing, that the strings were just adding so much emotion, so that it was having, you had this delusion of the climax, and it was also matching to this feeling of you're dreaming or you're sleeping, because in sleep, even if you're sleeping and you're dreaming about the story, and even in the climax of the story, you don't feel like a climax, it's all delusion. So it was like really like you're sleeping and you're seeing a dream. And what is also really caught my attention about his voice was the amount of, I mean, the less amount of vibrato that he was using. He was like maybe using vibrato 1% of the time, and it's really rare by singing, especially solo singing, that you this amount of not using vibrato is really rare. It's not with everybody that is like that. And he was really, it's I think in one of our videos I said that it's even harder because the intonation would be harder, and to make it sound beautiful is harder. Vibrato is always a really easy thing to just add and instantly have the emotion there. But he was not at all using the any vibrato, and it has this like really straight line. But sometimes at the end of the sentence, not even end of the words, but end of the sentence, he was using really intentionally a vibrato, and you could see that he was like, I want to just use here and here and here. He really chose to use where to use the vibrato. And I think maybe it's, I don't know if it's before they were singing together or after, because I can really see this influence, because when they are singing together and they are like harmonizing, it makes sense to maybe use less vibrato because of the style and the sound that they want to create. So maybe it's this habit came with him into also his solo works. And another thing that I wanted to say was about the tempo. I know I talk about the tempo a lot, but as a violinist, I think tempo, choosing the tempo is really, really, at least for me, can really change the whole vibe and the whole feeling of the song. Because, for example, when you play something faster, then the usage of your bow would change, and that's why your decision of how to do the bows, or how to make the phrasing, or how much vibrato even add, everything would change when you play faster. And when you play slower, again, your whole phrasing change. You cannot, like, the speed of the vibrato changes, the whole so much things would change with the change of the tempo. And for me, always a very important thing at the end of when I already like played the piece and I want to perform it, it's really like a hard or an important decision for me to choose what tempo exactly do I want to play on the concert, because that really changed the whole music and the whole interpretation that I would do. In this song, the tempo is perfect. I find it so soothing. Like, it's the perfect amount of slowness, so that you are like drowning into a dream and drowning into what he's saying, and no, not at all, not even 1% of feeling of rushing, or like even feeling of excitement, because with some feelings it comes excitement when you have feeling for someone. But this was whole like, I don't know, like a dreamy feeling. So it wasn't like this really earthy feeling that is like real, I see you and I have feeling for you, but more like a dream wise feeling. So I find the tempo really perfect.
Yeah, speaking of the tempo, it kind of relates to what I was gonna say. I was gonna talk about his voice a little bit and the lyrics. His voice, I know you talked a lot about a little bit, but the tempo affects the way that you sing. I feel like it makes it a little bit harder because there's just phrases just stretch by nature. And he was actually stretching, and he had a lot of long phrases actually, or long words that he would carry on for like a significant amount of time without the vibrato, as you said. But still, it needed a lot of breath control. So that's what I wanted to talk about, the breath control and the control of dynamic, because as you said, the tempo is super slow and as if there is no rush at all in the world, and that makes it harder for a singer to do that. You can but you cannot at all like see or hear the effort in his voice. It feels like it's just everything just coming naturally, and all the different colors in his voice, all the different emotions, the little nuances that they change, they're so, just everything feels so natural. And then combine that with the instrumentation, also feels so natural. I heard a little bit, I was trying to look at the chords, but apparently this is a cover song, and there's just so many versions of it. So I don't want to say like he definitely played that chord and be wrong, because there's so many versions. But some of the chords, when we were listening to it, it really reminded me of like older movie songs. And then I actually looked it up, and this was a movie song, and this was actually written in the 30s, so kind of makes sense. The harmonies that we heard, I think I heard some like major sevenths and a lot of sevenths, obviously, but major sevenths specifically, because there's no like kind of no tension to resolve naturally that much. So if we are, was, I don't think it was C, but instead of a C7 that we hear that it naturally wants to resolve on this, or this. C major 7, for example, it has a B instead of a B flat, so we are very close to the octave on the other side. And this, I mean, you can resolve it obviously, but really like doesn't that necessarily want to resolve as strongly as the other ones. So whenever I hear major 7, it immediately creates that kind of floaty moment, as if like we are just floating in the air and there's no rush in just resolving everything. We're just in the suspension and just moving there. So it was very interesting, the choice of harmonies, which were not that complicated, but they were also very, I feel like, fitting with the lyrics as well, because the lyrics, they were so simple, but exaggeration is a form of like I don't even know the English word for that, but is a form of like showing some emotion in literature, in Persian literature. It's kind of like metaphor that sometimes you use, but exaggeration is one of them. So it was interesting that he, or like whoever wrote this song, I know it's not that him that wrote the lyrics, chose that specific exaggeration as the main point for the lyrics, because on the surface, the lyrics are very simple, but every single verse of it has so much exaggeration to it. So it was very interesting that the picture, or like the images that the lyrics were kind of painting, but the main focus of it was like, I don't even see anything or anybody, it's just like you that I'm seeing. So it was, I feel like the choice of chords and harmony and instrumentation was really fitting with the lyrics as well. So yeah, that was it. I think that's the kind of song that you can kind of listen to it anytime or anywhere, and it's very timeless. So we're very glad that we encountered Art Garfunkel's solo works, so maybe we can explore more of that. I have no idea what songs he did outside of that duo, but we want to thank you, Roger, for suggesting this beautiful song, and we want to thank you guys for watching us. We hope you enjoyed this video as well. Don't forget to like it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you want to support us more, there's a buy me a coffee link in the description, and we'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.
Bye.